So welcome back for another video. We are just absolutely cranking out the work on this car, and the main focus on this video is an oil cooler. Not one, but two. So I'm going to plumb them up in series, and hopefully we could get a good amount of oil cooling for the motor, because sometimes when I'm sitting at idle, the oil pressure drops all the way down to like 0 to 5 psi, and it's kind of scaring me. However, the rockers aren't knocking or ticking per se. So hopefully the motor's still good, but I figured that we should go ahead and get this done before we really do cause a catastrophic failure. So I have an oil cooler right here, and I have the second one mocked in place. I'll explain this whole thing here in a second, but this is just a cheap tube and fin eBay unit, eBay line, eBay fittings, along with everything else that's eBay on the car. Haven't had any problems with it. It works great, and it's proven power, as you guys have seen. So I'm going to mount each oil cooler on both sides of the intercooler. I don't want to block off the intercooler in any fashion, because I want this thing to be as efficient as possible so we can make the most power as possible. But the theory behind how this is going to work, obviously we have our fog light holes on each end, and the oil cooler is going to start right where the bracket is on the intercooler, so it should get a little bit of airflow right there in that corner, as well as the whole fog light. Plus, we're going to have a fan behind it pulling air through. But not only that, as air rushes up to the intercooler can only take so much before, air is pushing off to each side to find the least path of resistance to get around it. So as it's coming off, I figured it's going to shove air through the oil cooler, and that'll help cooling as well. So like I said, that's the theory behind it. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm more than willing to test it. So without further ado, let's get to building some brackets for these things and get them all mounted up. So this oil cooler has these tabs on the side that will make it kind of difficult to build a mount on, unless you just come straight out and then have something to catch it over here. Same thing on this side, but we don't. So the way I'm going to tackle this is by taking the good old bed frame. All it is angle iron. We are going to place the oil cooler in there, cut the edge of it, and then obviously drill our mounting holes. And then that will give us a nice 90-degree edge right here that will be sitting right along the rail right here. Then we could take our channel, bend it or cut it at an angle, and then weld it directly to the bed frame, and that's essentially what the mount will be. So that'll give us ease of access to remove both oil coolers as well as the intercooler by just the 10mm bolts on the sides. And then we could throw it on the side, disconnect two lines, and the engine's ready to pull. So that's the way I'm trying to build everything, is just make it easily removable, and obviously that will fit the bill pretty nice. So yeah, let's get the building. All right, so here's what I'm talking about. I put two massive holes in here, and that will slide over each fitting like that. And we just have to drill two smaller holes on each side to actually hold the oil cooler on. Now I have the center point marked to where we take this channel and we run it something like that. And that'll be more than strong enough to hold the oil cooler in place. But I'm going to have to notch out right along this area, like I said, to clear the frame rail. But other than that, it should be good. One thing that I'm contemplating on doing is cutting out little slots right here to where if I have to remove the oil cooler, I can literally slide it back without disconnecting the lines. Because right now the way it's set up, obviously if the lines are on, we'll have to disconnect the lines and then unbolt the oil cooler rather than just unbolting it and sliding it out. So yeah, that's where we stand. So let's continue along. Alrighty, so I got the oil coolers installed. But my OCD is going absolutely berserk because you see the position it is with the fog light hole. Same thing on this side, but I mean, it's getting sufficient airflow. You can see it right back there, at least the fins of it. So it's getting all the stuff that's going through this hole from the intercooler as well as the fog light. But I have to have it like this because I had to give myself a little bit of room off the frame rail for these fittings to be removed. There's literally not much I can do about that, so I'm just gonna have to deal with it. But if I pop off the front bumper, I mean, it looks kind of cool and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So give you guys a quick shot of that. But right now I'm going to go ahead and pull the intercooler off, pull the oil coolers off, weld everything up completely, take off all the burrs, sharp edges, stuff like that, and then throw some paint on it. So catch you guys here in a little bit. All right, you guys need to draw a little imagination real quick. So pretend these two oil lines are wrapping around over here and then tucking back beside the engine. So now I'm going to demonstrate how to remove this all by one piece. First things first, we're going to disconnect the charge pipe and the upper. Lay that off to the side. So now we are stuck with this. Blast off our 4 bolts. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now as you can see, it's free hanging right now. And all we're going to do is lift it up. So it's completely off the car, and put it right here on the ground real quick just so you guys can see it. And there we are, sitting on the ground. So super simple setup and gives great access to pull the engine if we need to pull it in a hurry. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Alrighty guys, hopefully you can hear me over this fan, but I got the manifold block right here. This goes exactly where the turbo feed was at. Great product, but obviously we need 2 more larger ports to be able to run the oil coolers. Also, I found the culprit for one of my leaks. Looks like I pinched the O-ring last time I had the motor out, which, honest mistake. I messed up, but at least we got this kind of figured out. So this goes off to the side. I'll save that for a different motor. I took the fitting off of it, and there's a 1/8 NPT right here that this guy can screw into. So we'll have this one pointed up like so, and then we'll have obviously the oil coming out through the oil coolers and then recycling it back in right there. And then here's the turbo oil feed. Then we have this little port on the bottom to where we can check oil pressure with a mechanical gauge just in case we're getting funky readings inside the instrument cluster. So I'm going to go ahead and bolt this on. You can't really see much underneath the car, but yeah, I'll pick you guys up here in a little bit once we get something situated with the lines going there. So let's get to it. So the car's been done for about a week now, but I want to address something because I didn't show you guys how to build the lines. I actually learned something with these AN fittings that I didn't know about, and now that I know about it in the future, I know what to look for. So obviously they're eBay fittings. I had these ones for doing my turbo drain because I was going to redo it from the old motor because the old motor was smoking really bad, and I thought the turbo drain was like kinked or something because it was a 90 coming off of it. So I was going to put 45s on there, and in reality it was just the motor that was smoking. So aside from that, this one was for the turbo drain, and I just ordered these ones off of eBay maybe like 3 weeks ago. But if you take a good look, let me get them lined up. So you see how this one has very little threads and then this one has more threads? This one is extremely difficult to actually get the hose on and feed this little nipple through the hose and try to get it to catch some threads on this guy. Versus this one, the hose only slides for a little bit and then you have all these threads to catch on this fitting. So this style is so much easier. So if you go to order these things, make sure you get the shorter nipple on it. But aside from that, I got the fan installed on the oil coolers. I got the lines installed. There's absolutely no leaks to it whatsoever. I changed the fittings in the back because I didn't have the room. I think I put two 45s on there. And then I also have to redo the turbo feed because I took it for a test drive to make sure it's not going to leak and almost blew right through it. So I have the new line right here. I'm just going to do that off camera. No big deal, whatever. I'll reuse the old fitting. But aside from that, I just took a video clip of me starting the car. Garage isn't open, so I'm not going to start it again, but I'll go ahead and throw that in right now. It's going to be a cold start right now, so I'll go ahead and let me turn this exhaust up to where it's not going to be loud. Try to show you guys oil pressure, even though it's really not going to matter because it's cold. But when I tested it at hot, it was sitting right around 32 to 35. So that's a significant increase on what it was before. So I'm super stoked about that. But let me go ahead and fire this thing up real quick and show you guys. Oh, help if I take it out of gear, I don't want to send it through the house. There it is. So, yeah, it's super exciting knowing that the motor is still good. And then, yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. So the next video, I think will be out at the racetrack. My last registration for Vegas Drift actually rolled over to August 6th, which today is July 27th. So yeah, we have about a week and a couple days to before the event, and I want to have the car ready to go this weekend. So all I have to do is throw it on the trailer, and we're going to take it out to the track and see what happens. I don't know how the car is going to react. I don't know if anything's going to break. I could care less if anything breaks. It's a learning curve pretty much. I want to see what's going to work with the car, what's not going to work with the car, what needs to get changed, so on and so forth. More just like a testing stage pretty much. Either way, I'm super excited to drive it. I'm going to push it as hard as I can. And I guess I'll see you guys then. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.